What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full power moves team. Now basically, these are moves with the word power in them. Now the tricky part about this was, almost all of them are physical attacking moves, which made things quite difficult. Anyway people, the question for today is, in your opinion, what is the most powerful Pokemon and why? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear what your answers are and what the most powerful Pokemon is in everyone else's opinion. Right, so obviously I tried to implement as many of the power moves as possible. Of course, I've only had 6 Pokemon to work with, so it's quite hard fitting them all in. Now, this was a battle on my chat. If you guys do want to battle me, you can check that out in the description of the video. This was a battle against Evan. So we have a Volcanion lead using Sunny Day. So that's going to be boosting its Fire-type moves. Now, I've got this Licky. It's a max health, max attack set. We've got Secret Power, we've got Power Up Punch, Power Whip, and Hidden Power. The Hidden Power is just like a random Hidden Power. The 3 moves I was using were Power Up Punch and Secret Power and Power Whip. So the idea is to get as many Power Up Punches as possible before you know you're going to get KO'd, and then start spamming Secret Power as hard as you can. And if you can get a Paralyzed in the process, it's really damn handy. So Volcanius finally gets a Paralyzed there, which is nice. Now I'm going to be able to actually outspeed it and take the Volcanion out with the Secret Power. Now my item was Assault Vest. That's why I was taking those flamethrowers so well at the same time. Otherwise I would have would have probably one-shotted me. So Volcanion is down, and now we have the, I almost forgot the name of this Pokemon, Shiftry coming in. So it's going to go for the Leaf Blade, and that's going to be more than enough to take out my Licky, which is fine. Licky did a pretty good job against the Volcanion. Now, it's going to lose a little bit of its health. It's got the Life Orb, as I can see. Now swapping in my Neoligo. So Neoligo had probably the most redundant and stupidest set ever, but it's quite fun to use. So we've got Power Split on this because we really need to change its special attack. We've got Power Gem, Wonder Room to switch around the defense and special defense, and we also have Toxic on this set. We've got Max Health and Max Special Attack. So unfortunately for me, the Power Gem wasn't quite enough to take out the Shiftry, and it's going to take me out with the Leaf Blade, and it lives on like 1 health. Now, I thought this would be a good opportunity to send in my Machamp. So this Machamp was as follows. It's also sort of redundant too, but quite a fun set to use. So we've got Power Trick, Super Power, Rest, and Power Up Punch. So this Machamp actually ran with max health and max attack. So the idea is to go for the Power Trick and make it like bulky and really bulky in defense. And yeah, that's basically it. And then start using Power Up Punch and then use Super Power and use Rest if you need to get any recovery. The ability was Guts instead of No Guard in case I hit a poison or a burn or something like that. Anyway, so I knew they'd go for another Leaf Blade. I just went for the Rest and healed myself up, and they KO'd themselves with the Life Orb, which is basically what I wanted. So now we got Mega Yarn Mega coming in. I can't wait till if they ever bring that out, that'd be quite funny. So obviously I'm not looking forward to any kind of flying move, so swapping Machamp out. However, we're going to have a physical Yarn Mega with Aerial Ace, and my Aurorus is going to be able to tank that pretty well. So Aurorus was basically the only Pokemon on my team that had a special power type move. And I had a couple of them. So it had Nature Power, Ancient Power, and Earth Power. So this was a really important Pokemon on my team, right? So I didn't really want this to go down that early. So it's going to live on like 1 health with a Focus Sash. The other move is Rock Polish too. Obviously, all my attacking moves were power type moves. I did actually need a couple of other moves to actually make this team even viable. And even then, it was still pretty difficult to use. So it's going to use the Steel Wing, taking me out in 1 shot. Oh, Aurorus. Aurorus goes down to so many things. He's got so many weaknesses. So that was a Refrigerate Nature Power set. Obviously, it's making Nature Power into the Ice-type move. So now we've got the Machamp coming in. I'm going to go for the Power Punch. Yarn Mega's going to go for Protect. That's fine. I know that I'm going to be able to live a Aerial Ace too, as this Machamp is bulky. The item on the, not the Yarn Mega, the Aurorus was Citrus Berry too. So that's going to get a speed boost, not that it really mattered because it's going to outspeed me. Now it's going to go for an Aerial Ace on Machamp. Machamp's going to take that one fairly well, and it's about a 3-hit KO and go for the Power Punch, getting a +1 in attack. Now Machamp was actually fairly handy in this battle, to my surprise. So, it's got a big attack stat at the moment. The only thing is it's only got fighting type moves, right? So you can imagine, lots of things, walled it, ghost types. I was constantly had to swap it out. So now Krookodile is going to come in and use its Intimidate ability on me. I could go for Superpower here, but I thought, I'll keep it in and just go for that, see how much damage it does. However, we're going to have a special Krookodile using Hyper Beam, taking out my Machamp. So since I only had like 2 more Pokemon left, and one of them couldn't even hit it because it didn't have any moves to hit Dark types, was my Krookodile. So I thought, well, this is time to bring in the best Pokemon on my team. So this Crocodile set was as followed. I did manage to get a sweep with this set too. If you want to see that, let me know. I'll probably put that on up around Friday. I got another sweep too with one of my other Pokemon, as you'll see in a sec. So this is a special Crocodile. As I said, I'm running a max health, max special defense Crocodile, so I'm taking those hyper beams really well, people. Now this is a bulk up, rest, sleep, talk, power trip set, so it's very, very tanky. So with power trip, obviously the more stat boost you use, the more powerful power trick gets. Obviously it's it levels out at a certain base power, but it's very, very powerful with bulk up. Obviously, this set takes a lot of setting up too. So I gave it anger point just in case I ever got critted, which always happens, instead of intimidate. Intimidate could be handy too because you could easily cause a swap and then start setting up bulk up. So that could be a good option too. Try it out. I've got lots of sweeps with this set before. All right, so I'm gonna get hit by another hyper beam. However, I'm now revealing that I do have rest. So the opponent's probably like, oh crap. So I've got my all my health back, and I've got a couple of bulk ups up, and now I can freely go for the sleep talk. It didn't really matter too much if I did land on bulk up. That would only make my defense and attack more strong. So anyway, the Crocodile is on recharge. I'm going to go for the sleep talk, and I'm actually going to get power trip this time. Even though I resist it, I do have a couple of stages up, and it does a lot of damage, almost actually taking it out in one shot. So now I'm going to go for sleep talk again. And we have the Nidoking coming in now, and that's going to be a threat. If it is a special set, I do have, as I said, I do have max special defense, so I'm hoping I can probably live just one really badly. Anyway, so go for Sleep Talk again, hoping I get Power Trip, but I get Rest, unfortunately. Now I can go for Power Trip again. That's what I'm going to do. Now, it's going to be a physical Nidoking. Unfortunately, since it's a physical Nidoking, it's not going to do too much damage to me because I've got a lot of bulk ups up, and I've got max health as well. So going for the Power Trip on the Nidoking, and that's more than enough for Nidoking to actually take, and that is down. So we've got one more Pokemon left. I've got my leftovers recovery. So this is the Crocodile from before, and we've got one other revealed Pokemon. So we have the Crocodile coming out here. All they can do is go for a special move. It's going to drop my attack with Intimidate again, which is fine because I can easily use bulk up again just to get that back. And it's going to go for the Earth Power. So that's not, obviously it's not super effective. It's just neutral. And now I can go for another Power Trip to finish off the Crocodile, which is good. One more Pokemon left to go through. Now, obviously the other Pokemon had a Psychic type move. I couldn't swap that in before, and I didn't really want to swap it into a Crocodile either. So that's why I did that. Right, so we have the Father Time. The Hypno coming out. It's got a forewarn to Power Trip, but I'm sure well enough the opponent knows this move is coming. So go for Power Trip, but that's going to be way too much for a Hypno to live. And that is basically the game. Crocodile basically clutched me right back into this game. It was looking rather bleak at the start. So we have another battle. This one was on my chat. This was against Cove. So we got a Dunsparce here, and I'm leading things off with my Licky Licky again because it just served so well as a lead a lot of the time, and it was quite good at paralyzing the opponent too, to say the least. So we have the Dunny going for the Charge Beam. It's going to miss going for the Power Up Punch on the Dunsparce, so it does pretty good damage. I'm not sure it's running like a super bulky set. Now I'm going to go for Secret Power. I want to try and get some hacks on Dunsparce because usually Dunsparce is the one dishing out the hacks. However, we have the Dunsparce swapping out, and we have the Emolga coming. It's like, man, this is going to do a lot of damage to Emolga. It's not the bulkiest of Pokemon either, and that does loads. It's going to have some leftover recovery. I think that has something like invested in bulk too, because I thought that actually would one-shot a sweeping one. However, we have the Air Slash coming from Emolga, obviously trying to flinch me with the Air Slash. Does nothing because I've got a Assault Vest, and the Secret Power is going to be way too much for the Emolga to take, and that is down. So Dunsparce, I didn't really predict coming back in because it's going to get Shrek'd. And now we have the Scissor. So Scissor was a real problem against my team. I really couldn't do loads of damage to it, especially if you think about it, all of my moves were physical type moves, and a lot of them were actually resisted. So this part I'm going to speed up a little bit. So the Scissor actually was going for the Iron Defense, boosting its defense, and then it had a Toxic. So after I seen Toxic and Iron Defense, I'm guessing, well, it's definitely going to have Roost, right? That would make sense. So now it's going to roost off its damage that I did to it earlier. So I thought, well, I might be able to get a Parahax against it. That'd be at least handy down the track, if in case I was trying to take it out. So Licky Licky has basically done its best work against the Scissor. I really can't do much more. So going to Aurorus, I need to get an Ancient Power offer here, get at least some good damage against it. However, the Scissor's going to swap out, and now we have the Crabominal. So not the Crabominal. What did I call that Crabominal for? The Claw Wits are coming out. I mean, they both have the Claw, right? So Ancient Power does basically donkeys. There's nothing I can really do against this. I'm fearing any kind of Water type move. As I said, Aurorus is so weak to so many things. So Licky Licky is going to come back into this one. It's going to be a Crab Hammer, and I love that Crab animation. It looks so cool. It's going to crit me too, unfortunately. So Licky Licky is going to go down to the next hit, unfortunately. I think I would have, I don't think I would have lived 2 Crab Hammers. Whether I outsped or not was another thing. So that's Licky Licky down anyway. Did a good job on the Emolga and the Dunsparce and getting a Parahax on the Scissor, so a very handy Pokemon. So now swapping on Machamp, which is pretty dang handy in this battle too. Crabomon. Oh my god, I can't. The Crab swaps out and the Lily comes in. Oh god, well, what a combination, a Crab then a Lily. So go for the power trick, swapping my attack and defense. There is nothing I can do to this Clefairy at all. I've only got Superpower and Power Punch. I'm going to get absolutely annihilated. So now, going into Neoligo, I've got Toxic on this thing. I know that it does have a pretty good opportunity to set up Calm Minds or anything like that. And it actually can, its ability can have Magic Guard too. But I just want to see if it's Magic Guard or Unaware. So I'm going to get his special attack drop. Now we've got the Clefairy swapping out. Obviously fearing some sort of like poison type move or something like that, or any kind of poison type move like Toxic. So that's going to hit Scissor obviously and do nothing. So once again, there's not much I can actually do to Scissor. Obviously the only power move they had on this, the Power Gem was my best move. Now this was max health and max special attack. It was more of a bulky set. However, this Scissor was max health and max special defense, and it was very, very tanky. There wasn't much I could actually do to it. That was like my second strongest special move. So I had Aurorus and Neoligo to actually get through this thing. So I thought, well, I'm just going to keep it in and go for the Power Gem. Hope I can get some Power Hacks and actually take this thing out. Now, the Scissor's going to go for the Bug Bite. I think they've got most of the EVs invested in, health and special defense. So it's not really going to do too much. However, it does have Technician, I'm guessing, and that's going to be fairly handy. So now we've got the Scissor swapping out, and we have the Clawitzer, got it right this time, swapping in. So I went for Power Gem. This is do some decent damage at least, and actually get a critical hit there, which was nice. I'm guessing it's a bulky set. I'm thinking it might be a Sophist. So anyway, we're swapping out the Neoligo, and now we're going to go into the Machamp. So I know this is a physical Clawitzer, and I thought, well, I might be at the power trick happening and go for the superpower or something like that. So it's going to have Aqua Jet. That's not going to do too much. Clawitzer's going to swap out, and now we're going to have the Clefairy or the Lily coming back in. It's quite funny because this Pokemon was a pain in the butt, just like Lily was. Anyway, so go for superpower. As you can see, it does donkeys. That was with max attack. Obviously, heavy resistances as well. So swapping out the Machamp and going back into Nihilego. So there's not much I can really do to this one. I've got to take it out. I know that it's probably going to have something like Moonlight or Soft Boiled, but as I said, there's not much I can really do to it. So now I'll go for the Toxic, seeing if it's Unaware or Magic Guard, and unfortunately, it's going to be Magic Guard. So at least I know that if I use a stat boosting move, it's actually going to do something to it. So now it's going to try and obviously drop my special attack with Moonblast. I can't really hit it that hard, and it can't really hit me that hard either. So now it's just spamming Moonblast on my Neolego. This bit I had to speed up a little bit because it took a fairly long time. So basically on the team, the Scizor and the Clefairy was sort of like the bulky stalling Pokemon. So I was trying to get past them. They were the main problems at the moment. So obviously the Clefairy is going to go for a Moonlight. I'm going to go for the this was the Z Wonder Room. Now what Z Wonder Room does, it boosts the special defense of one stage, and it swaps the defense and special defense of the Pokemon around. Obviously, it doesn't take stat changes into account either there, if you were wondering. So getting hit by another Moonblast. Now Clefairy is going to keep going for the Moonblast on me. I'm going to go for the Power Gem, trying to take this thing out. It's basically me trying to take this out and just revenge kill it in the end. I was hoping they didn't go for another Moonlight here. I did went for Power Gem again. There really wasn't much I could do. It was so tanky, and that's going to take me out with the Moonblast. So it's probably not often that Neoligo gets taken out by Moonblast. But then again, I didn't have any poison type moves. So now swapping in Aurorus, going for the Nature Power here. Obviously, Nature Power is going to get, obviously, Nature Power Refrigerate. That was the strategy I was going for. And that is finally Clefairy down. My goodness, that took way too long. So, we have the Crabomon. Oh my god, I did it again! Clawitzer coming out, and I don't want any part of Crabhammer at all. So, going back into my Machamp to tank this hit. Then I can go for a superpower, since there's no Clefairy to swap in, and, that'll be really good. So, obviously, Aqua Jet doesn't do too much. Wonder Room is going to is going to wear off too. So now I'm going for Power Trick, swapping my attack and defense around, making me even more bulky than I was before in defense. Even at the cost of some of the attack, I can try and get that up later on with the Power Punches. So Crabhammer doesn't do too much. We get the Crabhammer, then the Aqua Jet on Machamp, not doing a lot. So now going for the Power Punch. I know that I've got Rest to actually rest this off and then I could actually go for the superpower afterwards. So it's going to go for yet another Aquajet on my Machamp. I'm tanking these really, really well. That actually was that was a critical hit then, and going for another Power Punch, taking out the Clawitzer finally. So we got the Dunsparce left, we got the Scissor left, which is really tanky, and there's one other Pokemon. So we have the Drapion coming out, so there wasn't a lot I could do except for go for superpower, and it's going to go for the knockoff on my Machamp. It's going to knock off my item, which is my Chesto Berry. It doesn't do too much to me because I've got the power trick up and I resist that heavily, and superpower does some really good damage to Drapion, as I do have +2 in attack too. Right, now Drapion's going to go for the Poison Tail, guys, and this is really funny. It lives on 1 health! Oh man, it doesn't happen to me too often. T-shirts now available. Check out that link in the description. Man, thank you guys for giving me a chance to plug my merch. I'm only joking. So now the Drapion is going to go down, and we have the Scissor and Dunsparce left. So Dunsparce is going to come out. Obviously, there's not much I can do. Just go for the superpower. Dunsparce is going to miss with Charge Beam, man. This Dunsparce has been so unlucky this battle. It's missed both its Charge Beam, and it's going to go down to the superpower again. It's quite funny because I'm like, this Machamp is going to go down eventually because I'm just using superpower, and down goes old Dunsparce, unfortunately. However, we still have this Scissor left that I really can't do a lot of damage to. So at the moment, the battle is fairly one-sided. So going for the superpower here, and this is where I had to speed the battle up a hell of a lot. So it's got the Leftones recovery, just spamming superpower like I've never spammed it before. And however, Scissor's going to be able to use Roost. I mean, I could use Power Up Punch here, but it's going to be able to out-survive me easily. It can just keep using Roost. So I just thought to go for a critical hit and sack the Machamp, but pretty much did a nice job there. So now going to Chingling, the god of all Pokemon. I did get a sweep with this one. If you do want to see that, let me know in the comment section, people. I've actually done a Chimecho sweep, but I've never done a Chingling one before. Well, on YouTube. I've done it outside of YouTube quite a few times. So this was a bulky boosting, cosmic power, stored power, recover, and heal bell set. Normally I would have run Dazzling Gleam on there, but since I've only allowed power moves, I did that. So I had Levitate and Everlight as the item, max health and split defenses. So unfortunately for me, even at +6, it wouldn't have done enough damage. I had heal bell for that Toxic, and I thought, well, I can get some damage off with the stored power, right, and then swap in Auroras and try and take it out. So get some damage from that, and then swap in Auroras, go for the Ancient Power, and try and take the Scissor out. So now, swapping in Auroras, going for the Ancient Power does big damage. The Toxic is going to come from the Scissor. So really, I need an Ancient Power boost to take this thing out. It's going to be down to my Crooked. I'll try and clutch again. I get a Power Act, and that is basically game. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. It was quite a tricky team to do, but fun. Check out the bonus battle then, people. It's very, very funny. Peace.